In this video, let's talk about Contract Lifecycle Management, or CLM. The C is not exclusive to contracts, and that's why content is something that should be more prevalent in CLM. What is a CLM? The definitions depend on the product that you choose, but in general, it is a document management system, and it is meant to manage the content that it contains. Key components are document authoring, execution, performance monitoring, and in some cases, if it's contractual in nature, renewals and termination. But again, the CLM is agnostic when it comes to the content. What are the benefits of a CLM? Well, you have visibility into your documents. You have workflows that track the documents. And because of that, you have efficiencies that can lead to cost reductions, because no longer are documents found on people's hard drives, but they are contained within a system. There are numerous features of a CLM. However, the core ones are that you have a single source of truth for your documents. You know where to find them. You have an ability to create documents over and over again from different data, and that allows for streamlined processes that can then be downstream after document creation to allow for automation. Rolling all of that together means reporting and tracking and metrics. Once we dig deeper into those workflows, you're going to find that there's only truly three types. There's the external review, internal review, and send for signature. Once you understand that there's just three types of review, the workflows tend to consolidate. For external review, it's going out the door, and maybe it does come back with red lines if it's contractual, or feedback if it's other types of content. But you want to track that. You want to make sure that you know where that document is outside of the CLM, who has it, and when it's supposed to get back. Send for signature is similar in that regard. The user is going to sign it, or they're going to decline to sign. In that case, the paths are handled so that if it's signed, then it comes back to CLM fully executed. If it is not signed, it still comes back to CLM, and then an external review process can commence. Internal review is the one where most organizations spend the time trying to figure out. Prior to getting into a CLM, odds are folks are emailed and asked to review something. Now, that review process gets formalized in a CLM so that all the tracking steps are there. Everyone knows who has the document internally, or what group has it, and what the status is as that document is reviewed. So there's two types of internal review. There's the linear review, which is more of a stepwise approach. It goes from one individual or a task group to another, and so forth. It's steps in that process. Those steps can be numerous or very few. The other type of internal review is in parallel, and think of railroad tracks. You have two sets or more of individuals or task groups working in parallel to accomplish the review, upon which time, generally when all are done reviewing, the document is routed to the next appropriate step. With the external review, there is an opportunity to reuse external review for sending to an individual still within the organization. They review it and it comes back into the CLM. With internal review, you can have a one or many approach here, and that goes back to the linear or parallel. So in thinking about your process today, is it an external or is it an internal? Send for signature is going to happen when everything is finalized, but in the end, which of those three buckets does your process fall within? And generally, it'll be a combination of internal, external, and send for signature. But that means we can reuse, and we don't have to invent separate workflows for every document type. And that is something to really understand, is that the documents are driving the review cycles. Your document templates are very important pieces of the puzzle for CLM. And where those documents need to go is really what drives workflow. The more documents you can normalize, the better, meaning reusing similar logic for the workflow based on the document type. The other thing to realize here is that there is within the template the ability to show and hide. The data sources populate the data. Those data sources drive the show hide logic. The power of a CLM is that you have the ability to standardize and normalize and reduce workloads. One thing though that has to happen in approaching an implementation is you have to take a different mindset. You can stay with your business process management notation workflows and show that, but you're mapping that into the CLM. And we call that CLMizing your workflows and document generation. With all of this said, there's a lot of opportunity to find optimizations in any organization seeking to have a CLM implemented. Thanks.